Meeting of Carbon County Commissioners is called to order. Please rise. Moment of silence. Rocky, if you may lead us in a prayer.
Father, bless us as we gather for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so we will work for our county. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. The first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held January 2nd, 2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. Are there any guests here concerning county business? Jean?
Okay, I just want to announce our winners for door decoration, for the Christmas door decorations for this year, actually last year. I want to first off want to thank the commissioners and the judges for always allowing the county offices to be able to participate in this. I want to also thank photography by Lynn Shook, who comes out and takes pictures for us pro bono. I want to thank all the county employees who get involved and enjoy it. If they decorate their doors and voting, it's an overwhelming response for everybody. And lastly, I want to thank the elected officials, all of them, for purchasing the lunch, and also Ellie, our county executive, participated in donating money to the meals that we will be buying the winners. So this year is the first time we had 2 first place, 2 second place, and a 3rd place winner. So our first place doors that came in was 911 Communication Center and the District Attorney's Office. Their offices took first place. Our second place offices was the Fiscal Data Processing Controller's Office and the Tax Claim Office. And our 3rd place was the Building and Grounds Department, the Cleaning Personnel. So I want to say congratulations to all of them, and that we will be, I'll be organizing their luncheons. So again, thank you very much, and hopefully next year we'll be doing it again.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
good
much,
day.
Jean. And thank you for spearheading that.
Thank you.
Opening of bids.
Any other guests?
Any other guests? Okay, opening of bids.
Next we'll move on to the opening of bids. CDBG project in Highton Borough, clearance and demolition, 135, 139 North First Street. Fiscal years 2020, 21, and 22. Our first bidder is Northeast Industrial Services Corporation out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania. The total amount bid, $148,435.
And we do have a bid bond for 10%.
The next bidder is Yanuzzi Group Incorporated out of Kinnelon, New Jersey. You may have to go back to these. I may have to go back to the first one. Apparently, there's alternates in here.
Seemed kind of low.
can't tell if they've included any alternates or not. Can't tell. Oh, here it is, here it is. Okay, the $148,435 is the base bid. Okay. Alternate number 1 is $20,000. Alternate number 2 is $18,000. So then there would be a total cost, if both alternates are accepted, $186,435. Okay? So getting back to Yanussi. The base bid, $382,000. Alternate 1, $31,000. Alternate 2, $158,000. For a total of base and the 2 alternates, $571,000.
And there is a bond for 10% of the amount bid.
Motion to turn the bids over to the Heighton Borough for review and recommendation for 2 weeks.
Out for planning for 2 weeks.
Planning.
Or rejection.
You're gonna second that?
Yeah.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
A report of executive sessions, Val?
There was one January 3rd, 2024, at 9:30 a.m. It was to discuss personnel.
Okay, next item is the department reports, the budget transfers.
Motion to approve the budget transfers as presented.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
There are no supplemental appropriations. At this time, I'm asking the board for approval to amend the agenda.
Motion to approve the amendment.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Okay, expenditures. This is why there's a motion to amend. Expenditures, approval of check numbers 240822 through 241067 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account as follows. The general fund total changes to $682,444.50. Under the general fund, we're going to add general fund, loan number 1 to children and youth, $400,000. The next change is under domestic relations. That total becomes $30,226.17. And the new total for approval is $2,464,978.85.
Motion to accept as amended.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Next item is the treasurer's reports.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr.
For the both of them.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Next item is a new account for approval and execution, the authorization to open a new account of Recorder of Deeds Demolition Fund.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I should have turned this over to our treasurer. Did you want to do the bank?
Sure, I'll do
resolution?
that.
Confused about there. I was-
Sorry about that.
No problem. Next item, bank depository resolution. Ratify adoption of the following bank depository resolution. Resolution number 24001 for Mauchunk Trust Company, Jim Thorpe, PA. Motion to ratify adoption of the resolution and authorize the execution of the necessary documents.
I'll second that.
You make the motion.
Oh, okay, I thought that was.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item is the budget for 2023 for approval. Authorize the payment of salary increases and the transfer of funds to cover the increases approved at annual salary board meeting on January 3rd and 4th, 2023, but not funded by the Board of Commissioners, as per action taken at the Commissioners' meeting of January 19th, 2023, agenda item number 23-025.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second that on a little bit of discussion with this, and, I'm just looking ahead, and, there's some things in here, I mean, there's no dollar amount on here, and it doesn't even state where the money is actually going. I mean, this to me looks like it's open-ended, that it could be 10,000 or 100,000. I think for us moving forward with other issues that are gonna come about, I would say, and it was approved for, ones the first week that we came in, the new board, but I think there should be a dollar amount on this to gauge ourselves for the rest of the year.
I do have a dollar amount calculated. It's in my office. It's a little over $36,000.
Okay.
Okay, and I do have a listing of the positions that we're speaking of, if you would like to have that list typed into the minutes.
And those were approved last week in the beginning of the.
Last year.
Last year for last year.
Yes.
Or the 2023, January 3rd meeting.
So this is just approving what was approved by the, like we did last week, the salary board, but not approved by the commissioners.
Correct.
Okay.
And am I right or wrong by saying they weren't all approved?
All those positions, no, because some had left, if that's what you were referring to, the amount of people that left employment. And there may be one or two I think we still have to deal with. Or a
Well,
few.
that's what I'm saying, we have one or two, and I'm looking back if there's gonna be any kind of additional pay or whatever's going on. I'm thinking like even everybody that was involved in it should have the dollar amount in here. I mean, we're moving to open the budget, how are we opening the budget if we don't know what we need?
I do have
I do have that number.
that number.
And I also have the number, and I disagree with some of the stuff. Cause some of the things, it was approved at the first meeting of the year, but some of the other stuff, and it might even come up today, and some of the other, in the salary board. I'm ready for the vote.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. At this time, we will recess for the salary board meeting. Are there any guests here concerning salary board business? Hearing none. Ellen?
The report of executive sessions?
There was one January 8th, 2024 at 1 PM.
So our next item is setting positions and salaries of row offices effective January 1, 2024. Attorney Green?
A motion to set the positions and salaries for the office of the district attorney, for January 1st, 2024, as set forth in Exhibit R4.
And I'm gonna make just a little bit of discussion. I don't know if I have to make a
Second
motion.
motion for discussion, and
But I'm going back to that I feel that there's enough money in the budget for everybody to get a 5% raise. And that's where I'm going with that.
but let me remind you, Mr. Arner, that in the past, you have not even approved in the budgets what we're giving out in the raise. And I'd like to really know how you're going to pay all these things when you're disapproving some of these motions and projecting even higher without coming up with the funding for those positions or those increases.
And I think on what I even mentioned that last week, that we had X amount of dollars to do this and a procedure and got raises. There were people in June, July, August that got raises. And if it warrants for them to whatever they need to get out of that, they should get that as well because they went through the process. There were people that got $1 an hour. There were some that got 80 cents an hour that got it in June. So my feeling is that that should reflect back to them. And I don't see any of that in here. Nothing. And I think I even said it last week where I had it, how much was in contingency. And to do all of this for everybody at the 5%, I could get you the figure, but I think it's like $136,000 extra, and it's there.
I just can't understand how you can make those motions while running the county into even further debt or deficit in the budget. Not even close to having a balanced budget, but yet you're making motions to, or proposing increased spending or not funding certain positions without even looking at the future and what those costs are gonna be to fund all this. I think it's about time you step up to plate and start taking responsibility for your proposals and coming up with the funding for these positions and other expenses put for the board here.
And even when we met with our financial consultant, he's
Everybody that, there's people that are still working at 2022 rates. So if we can get everybody to 2023, take care of that pay that they were told from salary board, but not funded by the commissioners, and you have your reasons for that, I understand that. But we need to get everybody back to above board, get everybody to where they should be, and then look forward from there. That will be done through our negotiating process and giving everybody the fair shot through unions that have been formed and those that are here, that they are all treated fairly across the board. I think the biggest problem that we've had, at least listening both of you, is that some feel they were unfairly chosen. There were some that were not given a raise. And I think that this motion addresses that. And as far as spending, we did speak about cost cutting, and you know that. That I'm sure will come out as we go further down the process here. But I am in favor of this because this brings everybody that should have gotten a raise last year up to where they should be. It also takes care of where they are now. Those that may be in the negotiation of unions, out of fairness to those employees, that has to be done by labor. Am I correct on that, Ellen?
Yes.
And I think that's fine, but I think it has to be across the board to everybody. Like I said, these people that went through the process, that's not even covering them. And what about the next 40 that are gonna go through the process? Are they gonna be handled the same way, or are they just gonna get the raise and not anything else done for it?
Well, I think we had discussed that we will go through the process, but you can't have people waiting for 1.5 years, 2 years for a raise because the process is not getting done in a timely manner. That's unfair to those employees. So we need to try to, in my eyes, we need to try to rectify that, keep them there, and then look at the process. And if they are so underpaid, as we hear, I think the process will prove that. And then we'll make that adjustment accordingly.
May I call for the vote?
Yes, you may.
Attorney Grigg?
Yes.
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No, yeah.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you.
For Thonotary, Mrs. Semmel?
Good morning. I make a motion to set the positions and salaries of the Prothonotary office effective January 1st, 2024, as listed on Exhibit R5.
Second.
And I could alter the motion also if it's the 5%, anybody's in favor of it.
No second? Okay. May I call for the vote?
Yes, I'm not gonna debate that here, I'll debate that other time. Thank you.
Mrs. Semmel?
Yes.
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any further business for the salary board? With that, I will adjourn the salary board, and we will move on to reconvene the commissioners' meeting.
The next item is the personnel report for county departments.
Motion approved.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The report of acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion acknowledged.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Arbitration award, ASME Court appointed professional for acknowledgement. Arbitration award issued by the Pennsylvania Labor Relations Board in the matter of Act 195, interest arbitration between ASME District Council 87, Local 2483, court-appointed professional employees in Carbon County for the period of January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2026.
Motion acknowledged.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Boards and authorities, Animal Shelter, a reappointment, a 2-year term to expire December 31, 2024. Christine Seascall, oh gosh, I can't say it,
Don't ask me.
of Jim Thorpe, sorry about that.
Second, motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Parks and Recreation Commission, resignation. For acceptance, a letter was received from Thomas J. Wildonner submitting his resignation from the Carbon County Parks and Recreation Commission, effective January 1, 2024.
Motion to approve and thank Mr. Waldauer for his many, many years. I'm not sure how many years he has served on the board, but it's a long time, maybe since the inception.
I'll second that.
I think he's the current chairman, or was?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
An appointment for approval, appointment of Ronald J. Sheehan of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, to fill the unexpired term of Thomas J. Wildonner effective January 15th, 2024, until December 31, 2026.
Motion approved.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Communications 911, a proposal for acceptance. Proposal from BKH Electrical Incorporated of Hatboro, Pennsylvania, to install and connect the new 130 kW generator and remove and dispose of the old generator at a total cost of $13,875. This is the lowest of 2 proposals received. One vendor did not respond.
Motion approved. Or
Second.
accept.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Fiscal data, a revised quote for approval and execution. A request was received from Fiscal Data Processing Director to revise the quote submitted by Tyler Technologies Incorporated for a time and attendance hardware, software, and service at a one-time fee of $57,940, reoccurring fee of $21,402, for a total of $79,342. This replaces the agreement approved on December 7, 2023, agenda item number 23-577.
Motion approved.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Juvenile probation for approval and execution. Usage agreement with Juvenile Court Judges Commission for youth level of service assessments at a total cost of year 2024, $3 each, year 2025, $4 each. This is funded through the Children and Youth Needs-Based Budget.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Liquid Fuels Program. Bridge number 4, encumbrance revision for ratification, the application to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation requesting revision number 3 for bridge number 4, Gristmill Drive, Route 459 over Quaker Creek, Packer Township. Complete structure replacement, including engineering, design, right-of-way, acquisition, and construction, increasing the encumbrance amount from $720,000 to $801,000.
Motion to ratify.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Bridge number 3 for ratification. Project approval from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for County Bridge number 3, East Penn Street, Lehighton Borough, in the amount of $150,000 for deck and beam repair.
Motion to ratify.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Bridge 4, priority repairs. For ratification, project approval from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for County Bridge number 4, Gristmill Drive, Township Route 459 over Quaker Creek, Packer Township, for priority 1 bridge repairs in the amount of $12,400. Revision number 1 increases the estimate cost of repairs to $15,400. Revision number 2 increased the estimated cost of repairs to $19,300.
Motion to ratify.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Bridge 19 for ratification, the project approval from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Excuse me. For County Bridge number 19, Township Route 435, Poco Drive, Tominson Township, in the amount of $200,000 for deck and beam repair.
Motion to ratify.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Planning and Development, a change order for approval and execution, change order number 2, to the contract with H&P Construction of Coltmont, Pennsylvania, for Lehighton Borough Public Facilities, Lehighton Senior Center roof replacement, fiscal year 2019. Due to contract price decreasing $5,000, the new contract price is $71,690.60. The original was $76,001 and 2022, listing the Director of Carbon County Planning and Development and the chief elected officials as authorized signatories on contracts and program invoices for CDBG and/or CDBG competitive programs. Your first motion is going to be to approve and authorize execution of the forms.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Your next item is to adopt the resolution number 24-002.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The solicitor's report?
Thank you. On the county policy for meeting guidelines, seeking a motion for adoption of revision number 1 to amend the Carbon County Government Policy 01 GOV of 2012 to reflect the meetings will be conducted pursuant to the modern rules of order, and in all other aspects, the policy for the conduct of regular and special meetings of the Board of Commissioners as written is ratified and confirmed in full.
Motion adopted.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
For the Emergency Operations and Training Center, seeking a motion for approval and execution of change orders number 1 and 2 from CHM Contracting LLC of Leesport, Pennsylvania, decreasing the contract by $28,288 for a new contract total of $53,260 due to the change orders as listed.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor? Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Also for the EOTC, seeking a motion for approval and execution of change orders numbers 1 through 6 from JBM Mechanical Incorporated of Nazareth, Pennsylvania, decreasing the contract by $1,089.61 for a new contract total of $121,910.39 due to the change orders as listed.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Under Josiah White Park, seeking a motion for approval of a lease agreement between the county and Eric Sinicola of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania for mobile food and refreshment concessions in Josiah White Park. The term of the agreement will be January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024, with automatic renewal options for 3 successive annual terms with a final termination date of December 31st, 2027. The annual rent will be $560.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Also, seeking a motion for approval of a lease agreement between the county and William Padula, doing business as Carmela's Italian Pastries of North Abington Township, Pennsylvania, for mobile food and refreshment concession in the Josiah White Park. The term of this agreement will be January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024, with automatic renewal options for 3 successive annual terms, with a final termination date of December 31st, 2027. The total annual rent to be $560.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Likewise, seeking a motion for approval of a lease agreement between the county and Gary and Jacqueline Wagner, Slider Paradise of Summit Hill, Pennsylvania, for mobile food and refreshment concession in the Josiah White Park. The term of the agreement will be January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024, with automatic renewal options for 3 successive annual terms with a final termination date of December 31st, 2027. Annual rent, $560.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
At 525 Iron Street in Lehighton, seeking a motion for ratification of an agreement between the County of Carbon and Matika's Lawn Care of Summit Hill, Pennsylvania, to perform snow removal services at 525 Iron Street, Lehighton, Pennsylvania. The agreement commenced on January 5th, 2024, and will terminate on December 31st, 2024. Compensation will be $135 per occurrence for snow removal, plus an additional $110 per occurrence if salting is performed.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Lastly, under purchasing, seeking a motion for approval and execution of an addendum to the agreement with Allstate Septic Systems LLP of Bangor, Pennsylvania, for a change in the service schedule for sewage removal services at Mock Chunk Lake Park Boat Launch Area B. Also, to renew the contract for 1 additional term commencing February 29, 2024, and terminating February 28, 2025. Total cost is 15 cents per gallon for Monday through Friday. If requested by the county, the contractor shall provide the services on Saturday, Sunday, or holidays at the rate of 20 cents per gallon. The agreement will continue until terminated by either party upon 30 days written notice to the other party.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Nothing further for the solicitor's report.
Any further business? Hearing none. Commissioners' reports. Mr. Honor?
No, I don't have anything except congratulate, I could say Ron Sheen for being on the board, but I wanna, comment on, Thomas Wiltshire. He has been a fixture in the county for years, and, I wish him lots of luck, but, he's served us very well. And, the woman for the dog shelter, I will not pronounce her last name, but congratulations, Christina.
Christina.
How's that?
Christina.
That's it.
Mr.
Mike, you
Notstein?
pronounce it for him. You'll help Jim Thorpe.
I'm not gonna, I'll, no.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Well, Okay, couple of things, take notice we had to start borrowing or paying or loaning money to our children and youth again, 400,000. Looking ahead at the budget, you know, where, after meeting with our fiscal consultant earlier this week, looks like we're gonna have to borrow between $5 and $7 million in the upcoming months to get us through, the early part of, 2024 and meet our expenses until we start getting our tax revenues in, April, so, another major issue there. One of the things I wanted to touch on here is, the hot topic in Carbon County right now is the homelessness and the issues relating to that. Very unfortunately, we had a death last evening in the tent city there, being investigated by the coroner's office. I understand he will be, have a news release later today. He said about lunch, but as soon as he gets it together, it's his first news release, so he wants to get it right and everything. There hasn't been a cause determined, nothing suspicious or anything, but unfortunately, it took about, probably well over an hour. The fire department was dispatched to assist in going in because you can't get in with vehicles and carrying the victim out. And because of flooding was the issue last night, and the ability to drive vehicles in there to remove the victim, unfortunately. So, hot topics coming up at many meetings that we're going to. Yesterday, when we talked to the Palmerton Chamber about what's going on in Carbon County, the Interagency Council, they have their annual breakfast on April 19th. The information should be coming out shortly, and the topic this year for the Interagency Annual Priorities Breakfast will be homeless, not helpless, you know, finding your way home. So we are lining up our speakers for that event. The cost of attending is, unfortunately, we had to change the, increase the cost to $20 because of the cost of the meal. We are also giving out a $1,000 scholarship to a student who will be doing or going to school for human services related. And that's gonna be, that application is going online maybe today yet through the Carbon County Community Foundation. You'll have till April 15th to apply for that grant, and that will be awarded on April 19th. The Interagency is doing sponsorships for the program to help fund the scholarships and for the speakers, meals, the hall rental, et cetera. So the sponsorship, $75, you get one meal ticket, $100 two, and $125 for 3 meal tickets. So that's our only fundraiser, the only expenditures we occur through the Interagency Council. So we're pushing the sponsorships in particular, and I think we'll have a pretty robust discussion about the homelessness and the issues that we face. The problems we have there are many. People don't want to be helped. The mental health issues. We have addiction issues. It's just not that easy to just go down there and clean up and tell them to get out of there. It's just not that easy. And there are people trying to help them. We are putting together a homeless task force, or I should say rejuvenate one that we had previously that hasn't met since 2019 because the key personnel and leadership has left the area or cannot do it anymore. So putting together, spent the whole morning working on that and looking at making phone calls to which agencies are the people who want to be involved and should be involved in this, including mental health, developmental services, drug and alcohol. District attorney has consented, as well as many other agencies like Family Promise and Peaceful Nights, and trying to develop or help these people, because we just can't throw them out in the street because they're just going to move to another street. So we're working on that. I'm putting that list together. I'm hoping to be able to host a meeting here at the county, either here at 44 within the next 2 weeks, hopefully, if we can get our elected officials there. So I'm working on that now. As far as our breakfast is concerned, I know Aggie Schoenberger from Peaceful Nights has consented. We're working on other speakers, as confirmed. Our esteemed solicitor, Bob Bricklin, will be talking about the legal aspects and what we can and can't do, because we have a lot of restraints on what we can and can't do in dealing with the issues. And we're getting a lot of complaints because of the smoke in the area. They're burning plastics and other materials and everything. And I know I contacted EMA to talk to the DEP about what we can do about that, but it's a slow process, and we have a long way to go, and we're biggest issue, and one of the biggest issues we have here in the county, not only transportation, the drug issue, and also is the affordable housing. So got our work cut out for us, but we'll be meeting soon, and I'll have more information, I hope, in the upcoming weeks on where we're going or what we'd like to accomplish. So that's all I have today.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes, just a few things. One is Wayne is correct in what's going on with the homeless. It is not being ignored by this board. It should be noted in meeting with my colleagues here, we are trying to spearhead and get it solved, well, not solved, but at least address the issues and then come up with the objectives. So Wayne has kind of really stepped up to the plate there, and we're getting some stuff together. So I thank him for that. I would like to tell everybody in Weissport, I know it's very frustrating, especially Weissport and Lehighton right now, but have some patience, we're getting there. It's just gonna take a little bit of time. There's some things that fall apart. COVID was not good to anybody as far as trying to keep committees and that together. So Wayne's getting us a list, and we'll be working with that. Another thing I'd like to announce is the NACRO Leadership Academy. We had 3 members of our staff here attend, and they all received high honors and graduated from there. And I would congratulate Lisa O'Donnell, Jill Geisinger, and Justin Merkel. So congratulations to all 3 of them. Their job well done. Thank you for that. I also received notification that Commissioner Notstein through CCAP has been placed on some committees out in CCAP. So those committees are, he's going to be a member of the Emergency Management and Veteran Affairs Committee, and he also will be a member of the Community and Economic Development Committee. So congratulations, Wayne.
That's why I stepped down.
The other I'd like to report on is we were down in Pomerton yesterday, and I thank the Pomerton Chamber of Commerce for having all 3 commissioners there. It was a very eye-opening and a great experience. But one thing that did come out of there was Pomerton's starting to raise some money for their library, and they're looking for some input. So give a plug out to please get a hold. I think it was a Marion Hoffner. Right. Marion Hoffner was one of the names I can remember that to try to get that together. And I know a lot of people may think ever since we got to the computer age or the internet age, you don't need a library anymore. But yes, we do need libraries. So please get out there and support that, because it is a worthwhile cause in the community.
You're done, have one thing to add?
I am done. If you have anything to add, go ahead.
Yeah, the one thing I forgot to mention under the homeless report, the point in time count is coming up on January 24th and 25th. The worst time of the year, I think, to do a count, because that's when they're couch surfing or staying with other family, friends, neighbors, etc. The count I was given this morning, there were 17 men, 3 women at in Tent City. Unfortunately, when people show up to do the count, the people disappear. They do not want to be counted. I had a lengthy discussion with Kim Miller, who was heavily involved in this yesterday with the Action Committee and the issues with trying to get the information. They don't want to give out any information. It's hard to contact them, and they just disappear when they know you're coming. And we ran into that when we did visit the facility. People just don't want to talk. So that's all I have. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
and I know Kayla Semmel is involved in that point in time, and maybe she can elaborate a little bit more on that, Mike.
Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, I'm on the board for Family Promise, and I just wanted to put out there that night that they're doing that pit count on the 24th, our shelter that's located in Nesquehoning will be acting as a warming station for anybody that's local and is in need for reach out to Family Promise. Their director would be more than willing to offer any information, or any of the board members or even the commissioners, so that we can get them the resources that they need and put them in the proper context, because a lot of the times they're not aware that those resources are out there, or they're too proud to ask for that help, so.
You can also contact Peaceful Nights, because I think she told me yesterday that they will be doing a warming center as well, especially during the Code Blue times.
Right, and it's also my understanding that one of our vans will be going out during that count, and we'll have the information, like a mobile unit going out, along with some refreshments and stuff for people as they find them as well.
Thank you, Gail.
You're welcome.
Along those lines, what I would add to that is, I know there's been postings on social media, take coats, take jackets, take blankets, take food. Please, take it to the places, Family Promise, Peaceful Nights, where they can administer it properly. Because I'm gonna say two things to you. One is it's not safe sometimes. You don't know what you're walking into. And number two, the only way we can get these people help is if they come to us, and then we know and we start getting account as how to help them. Going down, and I know emotions take a big part of this, and everybody wants to help you and think going down there and giving food is the way to help. Well, the way to help is to get it to the proper people so they can handle it in a proper manner. What you're gonna do is, obviously, if you go down and you start feeding it, it just becomes larger. So if they know that they have to go to Family Promise or they have to go to Peaceful Nights to receive the guidance that they need, then that would definitely, that helps our problem here too.
It also is then a safety issue too.
Safety.
As Wayne knows as a first responder, and I run with Perryville, that if people are going down there and then they put themselves in that situation, then you have first responders then that are trying to risk going down there, so it's just all around important to make sure that you're contacting the right people.
I would say Lehighton has responded with the ambulance at least 4 times in once this year and at least 3 times last year, that particular area, so.
Hearing nothing further, we will adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned, and we will move right to the election board. Thank you. Okay, with that, we will call the election board meeting to order.
Yeah, on the first thing of the agenda, we need an approval of the minutes from election board meeting held on November 10th, 2023. That
You have, did Mike really sign that as chair, since he was not a commissioner at the time of that meeting? Is my question to our solicitor, I guess.
Yeah, that's true, because it was an election year, none of the commissioners were on there, but, yes, under, well, yes, that's true, but, under the rules, there's nothing that prohibits someone who was not seated or even present at that time from just administratively reviewing and approving the minutes, which I think under the circumstances we necessarily have to do. So, unless there's something in the minutes that you see is clearly wrong, I think just by necessity, we're gonna have to have it approved by the current board.
Okay, I would make the motion to approve those minutes as presented by the election board.
And I'll second that.
Mr. Arner,
Yes.
Mr. Notstein,
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco.
Yes.
The second thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes from election board tiebreaker held on November 24th, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second,
Mr. Arner,
Yes.
Mr. Notstein,
yes.
Mr. Sifranco.
Yes.
And third thing is guests concerning election board business. Nothing? Okay. So we move on to ratify the certification of November 7th, 2023 general election.
Motion to approve the ratification of the November 7th, 2023 general election.
Second.
Mr. Arner,
Yes.
Mr. Notstein,
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Okay, adjourned.
No further business? Election board adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, news media. Amy,
Good morning.
good morning.
Commissioner Nosak, you talked about 5 to 7 million with,
What's that?
you talked about 5 to 7 million with loans, what exactly were you talking about?
That is the funds we need to make payroll, any other payments, electricity, utilities, all that. Those are our expenses between now and, till the tax revenues come in. Depending on the expenditures, the estimate was given as 5 to 7 million. And hopefully all that will be borrowed from various other funds that will not be expended before we start getting revenue in. And we do have to pay interest on at least some of those, things. I think the cost last year was the first time we had to do that in probably almost 20 years. And, I think it cost 39,000 in interest. And it did go, the capital fund was the one in particular, it does go back into the capital fund, but, you know, it's really taken the fund balance down too low, extremely low, should anything major occur.
I'm not positive, because
I'm
we
not
were
positive,
4
but
million,
it's for the-
and that was one of the reasons last year, because we were, the state, they owed us $4 million, first of all. If we would've had $4 million from them, it would've been a little bit of a different situation. But we did meet with them, and then I think within a month, we got, I think there was like 3 payments they gave us, and I think we got approximately 3 million. Now, I don't know how far we're behind, but it almost might look like it, that's the same thing that's happening this year. You know, because, the children and youth budget goes till June. So if there's something in there, they should have the money, you know what I mean? It's like, and it just depends on the state sending us the money. You know, but last year, I think it was over $4 million they owed us, well, what they were behind.
And that, a lot of that tied into the approval of the budgets by the state. You know, if they don't get approved in a timely fashion, they can't approve or make payments because they don't even know what their revenues or the departments are even gonna receive.
Okay, thank you. With regards to the action with, the motion from last year, salary board meeting. So is this the approximately 22 positions, then that wasn't fun, okay.
Yeah.
So now it's actually going to be 19.
19. Thank you.
That number is lower because some people had left employment as well, and that's why those numbers came down, but that was only 22 with the court system. Plus, there were other offices that, were hit by that as well.
Yeah, there are currently 15 from court administration.
Okay.
Okay.
Regards to the arbitration award, is that the union that you guys were referring to last week?
What I would say is, no.
Is this a new?
Ellie, if you wanna,
Yeah, can you please explain that a little bit better?
Okay, this, you asked me court professionals. These are people who are directly under the jurisdiction of the judge.
Okay,
Okay, that's adult probation, juvenile probation, and domestic relations. They are their own separate unit,
okay,
and it's not new. It's been here for a while.
okay. Thank you. Sorry, there's a lot of pages in here. With regards to the bridges,
Okay.
I don't know if I should comment on this.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of motions here for bridge. So have these bridges been completed? Are they in the works to be completed?
No,
What
the-
exactly?
The only bridge that has a current encumbrance for repairs is bridge number 4 in Packer Township.
Okay.
The other bridges that are listed are project approvals, meaning that we're going to go back to PennDOT at one time and say, we want to encumber funds for these bridges.
Okay.
They've created another step, so.
And for my comment on this, like, we have these 19 bridges, it's not just us, but it's every county across the state. And I like some of this infrastructure money. You know, we have bridges that, if you look at some of it's doing the top, and that's where the problem is. When you get the top, it's just like the roof on your house. If you fix the roof on your house, you don't need to worry about anything else getting damaged down below. And like the one at Beltsville is gonna be a big ticket item if something isn't done with that. I mean, I think that bridge is, I think I have it is like 360 feet long, and that's gonna be a big ticket item. And if we could get that cap, the top of it, you know, and what they do, they take the top off, they put a membrane down that the water can't get down through. And that's where a lot of the problems, where it keeps going. And we have to keep up with this stuff, because we only get an X amount of dollars to do this. And a perfect example is the one that I talked about there at, where on Penn Street,
Penn Street.
behind by Pizza Hut. That's the one, the topping needed to be done, I think it was $180,000 to do that. And you let it go for 2-3 years, and now next thing, one of the piers is starting to get damaged to it. So that's, and I said, in fact, we're gonna meet, our District 7 meeting with all of them, and I wanna give a sort of a little bit of presentation to District 7, all the 7 counties, that we need this money. I mean, we're hearing about infrastructure money, well, give it to us instead of giving it to PennDOT. You know, let us fix our bridges, because this is one of our headaches. This is a headache that we always have to, we get $500,000 a year, maybe, and now I think we got a little bit more. But what do you do with $500,000 to $700,000 on 19 bridges? Paint, that's about it. You know,
One of my concerns or questions is why do we own the bridge on Poco Drive
Yeah.
at the boat launch there in Pine Grove, or Pine Cove there? That is a county bridge, that's a big bridge. And why does the county own it if it's on a state road? And I'm
It's
not
not
sure.
a state road. It's,
No.
it's a township road.
Oh, it's a township, it's theirs.
Yeah,
It's a township road.
Congratulations, we'll sign the paperwork.
they can have it.
But, no, it's not in Franklin, it's in Tomensing.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Well, they can have it either way.
well, if they want it,
Share.
yeah. But,
Share the cost.
there was an agreement years ago, back in the 60s, that that bridge was being built. And of course, the township is going to, the Army Corps of Engineers came back, wanted to give it to the township. The township said they couldn't take care of it. So it came to the county.
Dumb commissioners.
And it should actually be a state road and state bridge,
And
in
it's,
my
and
opinion.
it's
It
not,
should
yeah,
be
because
there.
there is a state road at the stop sign up the road there on the same township route that turns into state.
And I think it was like between 1961 and 1968
Yeah.
that happened, so.
I think, Amy, the part that's amazed me learning here was I don't understand how we don't own the road that leads up to the bridge.
That,
I still don't understand
I
that.
cannot wrap a thought around that yet.
that's
I'm working at it,
That's
but
a
yes,
$64,000 question.
I don't know how that ever happened. But-
Yeah, cause how did the county ever get 19 bridges?
And how did you put a road in knowing you're gonna need a bridge that, yeah.
Yes. And then one last question I have that's not on the agenda. A few months ago, you had a cyber attack here. Have you guys ever had the report done for that yet?
As far as I know, everything,
I don't know if we got the final.
I-
I
We
don't think
haven't,
we've got a final yet.
no. No recent demands or anything.
Nothing has happened.
Nothing's happened. The only reason I ask is I've been hearing things that there were some issues in some of the offices, with delays and everything and losing information. So I was wondering where that report was.
There was no, the threat was there, but nothing materialized. Then it was just a matter of getting everything back, and that took some time.
Okay.
That took some time because those systems had to be shut down and new things put in place.
Okay. Is there going to be a report or no?
At this point, I don't think there's going to be, since there wasn't an actual,
Demand.
demand
anything.
for ransom or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. but it is being monitored,
Okay.
okay? That will continue for a while to make sure that nothing happens. Okay.
And that wasn't on the whole system though, that was just on courtside system?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Okay, so question on the pay increase. So the 3.5% for that's, you said 19 employees. Are they most of them court employees?
The 3.5%, that was all employees across the board, non-union.
It's not 3.5%.
What, no.
Ellie, if you wanna,
I misunderstood the question, I guess.
It's not 3.5%. It's just bringing back in January of 2023, there were offices that made alternate motions for positions that were passed by the salary board. And when that action was brought back to the Board of Commissioners who control the budget, it was voted down, not to fund it. So those positions from January of '23 were held at their pay rate of 2022. So now this action brings them up to the 2023 pay rate, and then ultimately onto 2024, as long as they are not union.
Okay, so where does the 3.5% come in?
3.5% came in 2024
Is that for all county
for
employees?
all county employees except for unionized employees.
to clear that up, just so you know, we have what, 4 unions? 5. Okay, 5 with the ship. So they receive raises according to their contracts. Those that are outside of that bargaining unit, Commissioner said. There is a group that has formed a new union, and because of labor law, we are not at liberty to handle that until we give them their fair share of negotiations. And they will sit down and negotiate their raise and their benefits and everything with the county. And then we will address that. Those that are not in that class, that's the ones that have received the 3.5%. Everyone else behind that from last year's board, as Elliot said, has now been brought up to where they should have been at last year.
Okay. Is there going to be back pay for those employees for last year or no?
Yes,
Okay. And then when will the new pay increase go into effect, or is it already in effect?
It was effective January 1.
And then the homeless task force, is there a timeline for when you hope to have that up and running?
I'm hoping to have a meeting within the next 2 weeks, whether if we can get a date suitable for all the parties, or we get the most people there, when we can do it. So, I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish that goal, but hopefully before the end of the month.
That's all I have.
anything further?
I have a quick follow-up. Sorry. Just was thinking about this. Ellie, you had said about that you guys are doing the monitoring. So if there was no threat with the attack, why was there a need to restore data if there was no, what happened there?
That was being held. We had to shut everything down and could not get back into the system for fear of infecting more.
Okay.
So it had to be shut down.
Yeah, because they weren't even allowed, like we get emails from them all the time, and if it wouldn't have been shut down, they could have infected us.
Yeah.
You know, that's why.
Every
it's more-
computer had to be checked.
It's more
And
safety precaution.
safeguards put on every
Physically.
computer.
Okay, and who did that checking? Your IT department, an outside group? Who did that?
Both IT departments.
Yeah.
It's Rebecca Calora from the court side. She headed that up.
Okay.
And then our IT people stepped up to assist because it was just so massive of checking every computer.
Okay.
And we are still down 3 employees in IT between courts and here. One over here, we're still down 2 IT personnel in the court system, court IT.
And I think they even went through the process of changing their emails too.
Yes, it
They
did.
don't have the
Yeah.
same email that they had before.
Okay.
They all got a different email now also.
So, I just wanna make sure I have everything right here. So this was all handled in-house, did you guys have any outside agencies come in to help with the?
We did,
You did,
through our insurance.
through insurance, okay. And you said there was no data that was
To our
compromised?
knowledge, not yet.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have then, thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? Thank you all. See you next week.